Hi, my name is Erin, Kristelle, Bernardo.
Hi, I'm Kell, Jettson, Bernardo, and we're co-founders of 86 Look, a Houston-based art syndicate. What inspired 86 Luck was a series of creative projects and a series of like accidents and intentions. You know, Erin's my sister, and we've collaborated on a lot of different art projects together, and we've made a lot of like mutual friends through making art projects. Mm-hmm. Me and two other of our friends thought we were gonna move to Atlanta. So we all felt like, oh, we should make a film before we are all not in the same city. There's a time pressure of like, okay, we're not all gonna be here. Like, it's super ephemeral. Like, we gotta do this right now. Like, if we don't do this right now, it's over. Like, you know, we'll never be in the same place like this ever again, you know? And we sought out to make a film, and ironically, we never released it. And it to this day has never seen the light of day. We really learned a lot from that. And we liked the energy of what it felt like to make those projects with the people we were making it. There's so much talent here that the city can tap into. So we ended up just making 12 more films in our first year. Yeah,
we didn't know that we were gonna make 12 projects in the first year, but we knew that we wanted to grow and that we had to grow together. And we had not had practice
making
films together until when we officially started.
Yeah, we had the benefit of like, we made like 6 projects together. By the time we were like building up enough momentum, we ran out of those 6 projects. So we were like, okay, now we're on a schedule where like each month we were making a film.
We definitely, every month we would just put ourselves in a very challenging position, I think.
Yeah, and we had no time to second guess it. I think that's like I
think that's part of the blessing of it. Is
it
that
was
like
a blessing,
you can't overthink it. You just have to do it.
We're accidentally a majorly Southeast Asian company, and you know, we're in the most diverse city in America, and it just so happened to be that a lot of our friends wanted to work on something. Like, when I was in college, I never felt like I saw any TV or movies that felt representative of me and my friends, you know? So wanting to tell their stories, wanting to tell like Asian American stories and Latino stories, Black stories, outside of the like general norm of Hollywood. I think that's what we're really tapped into, and trying to be representative of the people in Houston and have our films feel like, oh, this feels like Houston.
Something that we talked about in Houston specifically is that I feel like our art scene isn't talked about as much as other art scenes in different big cities.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you think about why, one of those reasons is because transportation in Houston is
not super reliable on a public front.
It's not easy to meet up with other people the way it might be a bit easier in like New York.
Yeah. A lot of our art scene is like split into little pieces, you know, just because it takes a long time to drive through Houston. There's no one in 86 that thinks exactly the same. And for some reason, we still can't agree on the films and projects that we want to make.
There's a belief in each other's different perspectives. And us coming from different backgrounds and wanting to make a diverse set of like genres of film. We just feel aligned in that mission, or that part. It's like we see each other in our differences, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You think that there's like a right time to do anything. Like, you're like, okay, once I get my money up, once I like start dressing different, I'm eating right, I'm getting sleep. You're waiting for the perfect opportune moment, and one, that's not true. That'll never be a thing. For me, I've always liked the fact that each project that I've ever done, I've only felt like I had 80% of the skills to do it. What's fun for me is in actually doing it, the other 20%, like, I'm growing. Like, I'm learning of the things as I'm going, and I'm working with people that know more than me. I'm addicted to that. I'm addicted to that experience. But also, if you're like looking for the perfect moment, film is maybe not the medium for you. Like, you shouldn't, because so many things will go wrong on set. And you have to figure out how to like problem solve around like schedules, around like things not showing up and like things falling through. Ironically, the beauty of film is that you're accountable to other people. Like, I don't always have the most grind set work ethic. So the fact that I work with other people, the fact that I can work with my sister, I work with my friends, I feel beholden to seeing a project get through, like, and seeing it get done and released.
It just touches on the ideas that we talked about earlier, is that like you have to create your own luck, you have to create your own opportunity when you don't have that opportunity right in front of you. It's like, how can you put yourself on a path to where it will lead to what it is that you're looking for? What happens with a lot of artists is that I feel like we either get burnt out or we get confused or lost about what to do. And once we have the project ready to go and you release it, you know, they put out like an out now post and then like never touch on it again. But it's like, what other opportunities are you missing out on if a million other strangers don't get to get their eyes on it? You know, like, I don't think you should I think a lot of people feel shame. They feel a lot of like cringe and like doubt in themselves whenever they're like, oh man, like I have to keep putting myself
out there.
There's gonna be times where like it's not gonna get a lot of interaction or a lot of engagement, but like, I don't think you should give up on something that you worked really hard for, that you probably worked really hard for with your friends or with your teammates.
And then you spend a lot of time on, like, you know, you could spend months and months on a film, and then you only spend a week to talk about it. It's silly. It's you know what I mean? It's like
you have an audience for whatever it is that you just made. So like, how can you help yourself find that audience? How can that audience like find you? So I would say like, just don't be afraid to see something through.
Yeah.
When it comes to the question of like how to get your films out there, especially in the digital age, it kind of just depends on what it is you really want to do with yourself as an artist, your brand, or with that project. And it depends what the project is as well. I think something we learned early on, or something that we started early on, was that like we pushed through without doing film festivals for our first year because we wanted to build our digital presence on Instagram and on YouTube. When we finally decided to do a festival film that we thought, you know, was a good fit for what a lot of festivals are looking for. It was still slightly at a weird programmable film length.
Yeah, it was the right time. Like,
we had a film that was almost like 20 minutes long, and I think it was hard for us to get acceptances from different festivals, because when programmers are thinking about how they want to program their festival, they're not just thinking about the quality of the film. They're thinking about who is going to be coming, how can they get more people to come, and how can they efficiently program their blocks out. And so they might choose like 4 or 5 minute films over your really good 20-minute film. And that's a high chance, especially if it's over 15 minutes in a short films block. And so that's something that we kind of learned through that process.
You need to know kind of, one, before you make a film, where is it gonna go? Like, you have to have kind of the end result in mind, and then make sure that everything going into the film fits where it's gonna eventually end up at.
So when it comes to 86 Luck, there were several times where we were like, are we gonna be able to keep this up?
Yeah. Are we gonna do this? You know, are we gonna be able to make the films that we want to make? Financially,
emotionally, structurally,
logistically, spiritually. Like, there
were a lot of tough conversations, especially in that first year and a half, that we had to have with each other. The beauty of 86 Luck is that we all come from very different perspectives. With that, sometimes we are not always on the same page. At the end of the day, something we talked about earlier is that like, you kind of have to think about like what actually is like a problem versus something that is just a conflict or something that is an inconvenience.
Like, there are common bits of wisdom of like, never work with your friends, never work with your family, and I happen to just choose to work with my friends and my family. We were all having a hard time like figuring out what the process was to do this, but also to do this like sustainably. Art is great and all, but we don't really believe that art is like above people.
Yeah.
You know, like what we make shouldn't be at the huge cost. Like, I always hear about film, really classic movies that were made and people like suffered on, and I'm like, that's not worth it to me. It's really not worth it.
And like outside of normal sufferings of like learning to be a filmmaker, just like just people being like inconsiderate of people's time completely, and like that being a repetitive thing, like a pattern, you know?
Yeah, like there's always gonna be pain when you're making a project. You're making art at the end of the day.
And it's probably, if you're making art, it's probably personal to you.
Yeah.
For the future of Houston and Houston film, I just really want to see everybody blow up. Like, I love being friends with so many different types of artists in the film scene. We have actors, we have producers and directors and writers and
gaffers,
DPs and production designers, and like everybody on a crew. I just want to be able to see a point where like all the collectives that are continuing to make films here feel like they can keep coming back here to make bigger projects. I would love to see the Garden Oaks Theater saved.
Yeah, art continues to be made by Houstonians, but also made here in Houston. Yeah, I want that for everyone. Did that answer your question? Shout out to Passarella Entertainment for having us, and Cold Creek Productions for housing our studio.
Thank you to the Houston art scene and to everyone who taught us anything and whoever believed in us, because we believe in you, and I think we also would not be here making art if not for each other.
City.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this city and the people in it.
If you want to keep up with us, you can find us on Instagram, 86luck, and our YouTube channel, 86luck. And thank you for this beautiful yap.